Nebuchadrezzar, a name rich with color, strength, and prestige, belongs to one of the few Babylonian kings known by name today, conqueror of kingdoms and restorer of Babylon. He left behind a legacy of no other born in the 7th century BC. He came to power as Babylonia was regaining its power in the region. He built on this monument. He took Babylonia to new heights, leaving behind Babylon's beautiful Ishtar Gate in grand processional way. His capture of Judah and exile of Jerusalem Hebrews would have a profound impact on Judaism's sacred texts, many of which were composed in Babylon. Nebuchadrezzar's empire would not long survive him. A short 22 years after his death, Babylonia fell to Cyrus, the great king of Persia. Building up Babylon. In Akkadian, the new sovereign name, Nabu-kuduri-ursur, means Nabu, the Mesopotamian god of wisdom and writing. Watch over my hair. He was named after Nebuchadrezzar the First, Babylon's warrior king of the 12th century BC, and pursued a path of expansionism. By the end of Nebuchadnezzar's the second 44-year reign, the empire had grown immensely. It stretched out from Palestine and Syria, occupied the fertile valleys of the Euphrates and Tigris, and swept down to the Persian Gulf. Cities were sacked, nobles were imprisoned, and people were exiled to Babylon. As the following inscription, and now the British Museum, may suggest, keeping the peace was a considerable burden on Nebuchadnezzar. Coming upon Nebuchadnezzar's Babylon. In Nebuchadnezzar's time, a traveler approaching Babylon would first spy the mighty Atem-Amenaki, house of foundation of heaven and earth, toppled by a sanctuary of Marduk, Babylon's patron god. The 6-story pyramid is believed to have inspired the biblical Tower of Babel. A very ancient sculpture, it was damaged in 689 AC by Sennacherib of city's restoration was completed by Nebuchadnezzar II, whose boasted, "I made it the wonder of the people of the world. I raised at the top of this heaven." Moving closer, the traveler would see the strong defensive walls, benefiting what would have become in short time the most important in the city in the ancient world. After crossing the canals, Ishtar Gate would come into view, built over an existing structure of Nebuchadnezzar II around 575 BC. The 38-foot-high double gate led in stately processional way, a walkway that linked the palace and temple districts, a statue of Marduk, and paraded along this boulevard during the Babylonian New Year. I pulled down the gates and had them remade of bricks with blue stone in which wonderful bulls and dragons were depicted, so that mankind might gaze on them in wonder. Nebuchadnezzar II. Inscription on the Ishtar Gate. Deportation and destruction. Psalm 137 in the Bible curses Babylon and Edomites, allies of the Nebuchadnezzar II, and exhorts the Jews, "Remember, O Lord, against the Edomites of the day of Jerusalem's fall, how they said, tear it down, down to its foundations." Raising a city following its conquest was standard practice in ancient Mesopotamia. Exactly the same fate had befallen Babylon when the Assyrians took it a century before the siege of Jerusalem. When the Chaldeans revolted, the Assyrian king Sennacherib laid siege on Babylon in 690 BC and defeated the rebels. The corpse of men no one to be buried, then filled the squares of Babylon. An inscription relates Sennacherib exacted the more terrible punishment of survivors. Babylon's temples were destroyed, their ruins flooded, and even the city's topsoil was hauled away. Like the Jews of Jerusalem, the Chaldean nobility of Babylon were also taken from the city into exile.